Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Let's hop to it. Speeder Showdown. This is probably going to be a flying around level. I would bet. I would bet that this is going to be a flying around level. Might not be too bad though. In fact, this might actually not technically be as much a flying around level as I think if it's the one level I'm remembering. Honestly, Episode 6 is probably the movie that I remember the most, but I barely remember any of them, and desperately need to find a good version of Blu-rays to get and sit down and watch it. That would be interesting. I'm interested in doing that. I don't have any time to do that, unfortunately. They change outfits quite a lot in this movie, in all these movies. It's more outfit changes than you'd see in most. Think of like any James Bond movie. James Bond probably changes outfits like 3 times at most, from one suit to a different suit. But Star Wars, one movie, you're talking way more characters with way more outfit changes. That's not a bad thing. If fashion has any place in an average person's society, it's probably going to show up in movies more than anything else. So we know the red brick is somewhere, but actually I think this is one of these deceptive places, so it probably isn't actually there, or you can't reach it that way. Okay. So I have to go over as Leia. And then I think I have to work my way back around. This is a real puzzle. There we go. Now that Luke is back, he can make a ramp so we can get over the tree again. Again, the trees do not look like Legos at all. You could have made Lego trees, particularly these bigger ones. That is possible. You could have done it, but they don't. And maybe there's a good reason for that. I wouldn't really be able to tell you until I saw this game. If every single bit, the grass and everything, looked like Legos, it would be hard to identify what you're even looking at. I will admit that. If the grass was just a green plate or a small stud plate, or a brown plate, that would be hard to identify. Maybe what they need to do in the Lego games is allow for just playing with scale a little bit, so that even though the minifigs, everything we see right now is kind of at minifig scale when it's made out of Lego, if they had an imaginary microfig scale where one blade of grass here would actually be a Lego, but a single Lego piece, that would be cool. I don't think I can do any of this right here. So we see these speeders, and we see this shield generator over here. And the the red brick is somewhere on this final level. So this is how all the flying around levels should have been. It should have just been vehicles that I'm gonna fly back and forth a lot trying to get things. But everything should have been in this way of the game. But I don't know how you really do that with like the pod racing level. The other thing you could have done is just not had a pod racing level, which they certainly weren't going to do that. Because that's completely unacceptable here. And I can't jump off right now, which is a little annoying. Right now I am stuck in the flying ground section that cannot hop off this ship. I would think blowing up some of these things would be getting me progress towards kind of mini break. But it's not. It's just enough. And all these trees do damage to. So you can see here there are Lego trees you could have made the forest at if they got them at the right scale. Part of the problem is that all video games buy assets from other people. Almost all video games, I can't say all. That there are animators who make a tree, and that tree gets put on marketplaces and gets used in many video games. You often see this in like red barrels or crates, things that get used in a lot of video games. You'll start to go, hey, that looks exactly like that same barrel from this other game, and that looks like that crate from this other game, and your eyes are not deceiving you. It is, because instead of them paying an artist a lot of money to do something that's already been done 5 times already, they just say, you know what, we'll just pay you for the work you've already done. And that is fine and dandy, and it's great, and it helps slow the rising cost of video games. The only problem is when you have a very unique art style like Legos. You can't do that. Because then all the trees on the outside start to look nothing like the Lego trees, as is the case here. So what we get left with in Lego games is worlds that are a mix of Lego logic and Lego items, and just real world logic and real world items, and how the two would interact and exist in the same universe is never really question. So we're supposed to be chasing after the bad guys right now, but that's not really what I'm doing. I'm just shooting at things, getting there. You can see the bad guys are basically just waiting for me at each little checkpoint. Totally missed that. And I missed it again, come on. This moves a little too fast for me, I will admit. These speedsters are a little too fast for me because of that. could be a difficult level for a younger kid. Particularly if he's determined to collect everything. Games, when you're targeting games to younger kids, I think you need to make them easier than this game is. I think you can't just say, well, you can always continue trying and keep trying, and because that's not fun. Yeah. I've played when I was a kid, made a lot of games that were bad because back when I was a kid, games in general were kind of bad. I want to see if I can shoot these. I can't. Alright, so now that we've made a full circle, I'm going to start shooting the bad guys. There's one. Got shot. I don't know how much health these guys have. They're behind me, so I need to slow down so I can hit them. They seem to have somewhere around 2-3 health. There's one. There's one. And so once you get them done, you go to a checkpoint area that we've flown through these areas multiple times, and we start dealing with some of these guys. Now this still is doing the thing that's quite annoying, where it does a number of characters at me and wants me to defeat them. So I have to use the force to get this guy out of that. Or at least that's the best way to do it. Now I'm in the walker. And then I get hit and I'm out of the walker. And I have to hit the shield generator with the weapon over here. And that's one of the 4 shield generators needed to be taken out. And I jumped back on the speedster, which is kind of a mistake because I can't jump off of it again. We've already been down this path, so there's no reason to try to find it more flexible so I can make it that well. I think it's probably a mistake that these speedsters slow down when you hit them. It's putting me in a strange situation where I'm having to slow down to keep them in my crosshairs. And if I had any brakes or anything, I would use them right now, but as far as I can tell, I don't. Got stuck there. See, this definitely feels like a slight improvement from the other racing levels. Slight, perhaps not massive improvement. This time we're gonna have to build a walker. Well, there's a red brick, it says up here. Stop shooting me! And what stinks is they will stop shooting you long enough to start doing something. else, and then they'll shoot you. Right. Can't blow up the silver one. Don't think there's anything there. Bad guys are coming back. Blow that up. This kind of looks like all free play stuff. So where is the rest of the pieces in the walker? Or more properly said, where are the rest of the pieces in the walker? There they are. Use the Force to put it together. In other LEGO games, the Force of course doesn't exist, except for LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. So anytime you put anything together, you don't use the Force, you just use speed build. So that is 2, and frankly, 2 is more than enough. Here we go, I'll get in, change places. Doing that twice is more than enough. Being forced to fight 4 of these guys now is silly. Fight them in groups of 2 because you really couldn't have 4 in the level at the same time anyways. Not even, it doesn't even let number 3 come forward when you take one out. So now magically these 2 are going to fly from nowhere in front of me. I think between these two annoying repetitive actions, I should have had to destroy 2 shield generators and taken out 2 speed racers, and I think that would have been more than enough. Quickly get into this thing. I believe we're in the same area. Yep, hit 4 times the shield generator to destroy it. So 4 times 4 times 4 stuff. And there's, I think we were even in this area already. Either that or this area is just incredibly similar to the other areas we were in. Either way, we did what we came here to do, so let's just hop in this and move on. Now we have to take out 5 of these guys. So will that be in 2 groups of, 1 group of 2 and 1 group of 3? Or will it be in 2 groups of 2 and then 1 group of 1? As expect it'll be group of one. Now there is a red brick that called super blasters, I believe, that maybe that does more damage and will speed up this process a little bit. But if at the expense of making every character take more hits or take longer to kill, they added that. That is not a good game design concept. I would never want to add a gun in some game that killed every creature in one hit. Just then, because I added that gun, have to make every other gun half as powerful as it was before. Two groups of two, and then number 5 comes in. Which this is unnecessary repetitiveness. Just unnecessary. That is something I feel like a previous generation of parents buying video games for kids would be very interested in knowing how many hours of gameplay you can expect to get out of a game, and thus they make the games repetitive and longer. I think anyone of the new generation that are having kids these days have played video games themselves and realized, let's just give them a good game and not worry about it being too long. Because in theory, if you wanted to give your kid a really difficult and long game, you could give them something rather inappropriate like Dark Souls, and that would certainly give them hours and hours of play through, because it is a very repetitive and difficult game. But that's not what kids want. Kids, for better or worse, kids' attention spans are changed and different than what my attention span was, or people of my generation's attention spans were. Actually, to be honest, my attention span was never very good, which helped me in playing video games and about nothing else. But when I was playing video games as a little kid, I did have only one game and would spend hours and hours on it. In fact, I actually got I believe, as far as you could possibly get on Duck Hunt, level 100 on Duck Hunt. And I did that by just playing it non-stop for about 12 hours one weekend. And at level 100 of Duck Hunt, the ducks don't show up on screen half the time, so it's impossible to, well, it was impossible for me to get any further. Also, probably should say I think I probably cheated because I was right up on the screen for when I was shooting at the ducks, and that may have, whether I realized it or not, caused the way the Duck Hunt game works to always register as a hit, even when it wasn't supposed to be. shoot this 4 times, and we can be done with it. So, this one I could just walk through here. And I think that is what they intended for us to do, was to walk in here. It's good to have a little bit of peace and quiet after just being constantly under barrage by the endless stormtroopers. Still haven't really figured out if there is a difference between a clone trooper and a stormtrooper, or which one is now the official term. These push puzzles are a little weird because really when you're playing with Legos you would never be pushing bricks. It's just not something you would do. I mean, you could do it, it just has no relevance to Lego. Let's see. That elevator, I believe, gets you to the next section. So I won't take it quite yet. Instead, I am trying to figure out how I would get to that red brick. And I don't think there is a way. I think you need young Anakin Skywalker to get over there. So let's just destroy some stuff over here, just to make sure. We are nowhere near the true Jedi because we are either not anywhere near the end of this level, or because I died a lot. And I would be willing to believe either one of them at this junction. Alright. Let's go ahead and take the elevator up. You can see how this is definitely a level you wouldn't want to play more than once. It's just a little too long, a little too repetitive, and yet you're going to end up playing it at least 3 times. So I'm taking off the shields of these satellite dishes that are communicating with each other directly, which makes no sense at all. Why you would have a device like that pointing at itself like that. One more down. Now all the shields are down. So let's shoot these guys like crazy until we can find what we're supposed to do next. Hit all the things over here. Seems like you could jump down this way and grapple back up, but it's not the case. The bad guys are grappling there. So if I destroy that grapple thing, maybe the bad guys will stop showing up. Interesting. I will hopefully be correct about that. Get out of my way. Still, I'm getting shot by this AT-AT. Button here. Let's see, is there something? Oh. Oh, so you just hop on that thing, and when you hop on that thing, you take control of it. Did he do this in the movie? Did he just hop right into a AT-AT and take control of it? Or is this just all straight up video game nonsense? So, like there should be a pad there that says Luke, or that has a picture of Luke, there should, in the same way that there should be in a few places a pad that says R2-D2 should do something. If they expanded their logic and said, when we want a specific character to use their power or stand in a specific place, we will put a picture of them on the ground. That'd be very helpful. We have done 2 whole rows. I don't think we're actually going to get all 3 of the rows of the characters unlocked unless it turns out that it just unlocks a ton of extra characters after we beat the full story of every episode. We are past 1 billion studs. We only need 250,000 more, and we can get that stud doubler, which will definitely be helpful, because then I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe it would be smart to run through here, through every level, and do the challenge mode first. I don't think it would be, but it might be, because then I would be running through the entire levels and gaining more studs and not having to worry about finding any collectibles or anything. I'll have to think about that. Anyways, so that was kind of a fly around level. But is the Battle of Endor going to be a fly around level? Is this one? It's hard to tell. But what I can tell you is that that's the end of this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.